Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music. And this is New Music's Alive in 2025. I'm going to talk about 7 new albums that came out on August 1st, 2025 in metal, rock, and prog. And I'll give my quick first impressions on them. And I'll talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Car Bomb and their EP, Tiles Whisper Dreams. This is an American mathcore band, and this one I'm putting in my excellent tier. And it's just an EP. It's very short. They've got a gent style of guitar playing and sound. They do even more chaotic stuff with the rhythm changes. They go much further on that than most gent bands do. I think they're just more technical than most gent bands could dream of. This EP is so short, it's only 12 minutes long, but it packs a punch. It's relentlessly brutal, chaotic, heavy, technical the whole time. Wild, harsh vocals reminiscent of Meshuggah. Could this be the heaviest and most brutal band around today? Possibly. At the same time, they're very musical, so it doesn't just sound like that's all they're going for. It's not just brutality. They're very musical, they're very technical, and they're very proficient at all their instruments. The rhythms are intricate, so it's hard to know what time signature you're in when you're listening to this band, and the way they change tempos as well by slowing down, speeding up. It's very unique and unusual in this genre. A lot of kind of stereotypical gent bands are very much like on the grid, same tempo, like perfect sounding, kind of mechanical, and it's almost like, all 4/4, but all kind of syncopated. But this band, it's like you never really know what's going to happen. And the way they make their guitars sound here, they sound like, sometimes it sounds like the guitar sounds like a race car, and it's also kind of cool. Like, I don't know if, I'm assuming that's on purpose, and it kind of lines up with the name of Car Bomb. I love everything they do, though. Big fan of all of their albums. And check this out if you just want to hear the sound of Meshuggah meeting the insanity of the Dillinger Escape Plan. I only just wish this was longer. They only gave us 12 minutes of music, and I think it's been 6 years or so since their last album. So we want more. We want more of this music from Car Bomb. I only just wish they gave us a full-length album, but I still have to put this in my excellent tier despite its short length. One of the best EPs of the year, Car Bomb, Tiles, Whisper, Dreams. If you like mathcore, it's a must here. If you're open to brutal technical music, also a must here. Next up, I'm doing another EP, which is very unusual for me to put 2 EPs as my favorite releases of the day, but this one's another great one. It's Oni and his EP Genesis Part 2. He's a Canadian melodic metalcore musician. He's a vocalist, Jake Oni. Melodic metalcore with alternative metal, groove metal, gent, and pop influences. I'm going to put this one in my very good tier. I thought Part 1 of this was also excellent. Came out earlier this year, and this is Genesis Part 2. And his latest full-length studio album is also really, really excellent as well. So I was looking forward to hearing Genesis Part 2. If you're a fan of Killswitch Engage, All That Remains, and you want to hear that sound with kind of more gent influence in the sound, like some periphery in there, definitely check this out. This EP continues the greatness of Part 1. His vocal delivery is great, the hooks are catchy, and the riffs are groovy. So that sounds good. Check out Genesis Part 2 by Oni. Next, I've got Discipline with their album Breadcrumbs, the 6th album by this American band. It's symphonic progressive rock. I'm putting this in my very good tier. And I've never listened to a full album by Discipline before until this one, but I enjoyed the single When the Night Calls Today. And the album opens up with an almost 17-minute prog epic track called Breadcrumbs. The whole album here is great, but just lacking in anything that will make me want to go back to it over and over again. I'm still going to put it in my very good tier, though. It's just excellent musicianship, excellent songwriting. Just love to hear some more memorability from them and maybe some uniqueness that would probably bump them up to excellent from very good. Next up, also in my very good tier, I have Atreyu with their re-recording, The Curse 2025. This is an American metalcore band. And even though I'm putting this in very good, it's kind of a weird one that's like slightly off-putting and disappointing, because this is a re-recording of what's probably Atreyu's best album from 2004. And I really just can't believe they did this. A lot of the moments, a lot of the comments I saw on YouTube and Facebook are very negative about this, but they've decided to re-record this classic sophomore album, The Curse, but they no longer have the lead vocalist and lyricist from that album, Alex, in the band, and his screams and lyrics are part of what makes that album a classic. So Atreyu fans don't seem to be happy about this. I listened to it because I love the original, and I consider the original a near masterpiece, one of the best 2000s metalcore albums ever. And I was curious to check this out, but I feel like this really doesn't need to exist. I don't know why bands are doing this so often these days, doing re-recordings of old albums. I think that's usually unnecessary. There's a few exceptions where they do it well. One that comes to mind is when Mr. Bungle re-recorded their Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny, their thrash metal, one of their early demos that they did, because the demo was like absolutely terrible recording quality, and they did a really cool re-recording of it. But this one didn't need to happen. And the nasty part about this one, and even also the Chiodos one that I talked about recently, where Chiodos re-recorded All's Well That Ends Well, Atreyu firing their screamer who wrote all the lyrics, Alex, and did all the harsh vocals on the original, and getting another band member to do the vocals on this re-recording when that band member that they fired wrote all the lyrics and did all the vocals. It's very strange. And Chiodos is now just Craig Owens and a bunch of touring musicians with no original members left, and they re-recorded as well. So it feels yucky to me when it's not like the original people that did it. All the performances though are fine. They're fine on these new versions. It doesn't quite feel right, and the modern production actually doesn't work as well to me with these mid 2000s classics that actually sound like they fit better with mid 2000s production. But yeah, both the re-recordings I've talked about recently, they use pitch correction on the clean vocals. I'm pretty sure I hear that here with Atreyu. I don't think the original album of The Curse uses pitch correction, or if they did, it was much less obvious. But please let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments if you don't think there's pitch correction on this new version, or if you do think there is pitch correction on the old version. Do let me know. I'm very curious to know. And the screams sound more perfect and produced on this new version from Atreyu, but they've lost the rawness and the realness that the original had. There's even a couple subtle guitar part changes that I thought were weird on this Atreyu remake here. Particular on their classic track, Right Side of the Bed, I noticed some guitar parts just sounded different, like they changed them, and I've wondered why they would subtly change a guitar part, or if they somehow maybe forgot how to play it like the original, or maybe I'm crazy and I'm misremembering how the guitar sounds in the original, but it seems weird that they forget how to play their own song, or like kind of change the riff a little bit every now and then. Very strange. Or yeah, like the solo changed just a little bit too. But I'm still going to give this a very good tier because I do love these songs. So listening to it, it's, the songs are just undeniably great metalcore songs, but I just love the original better. And it seems weird to make a new version of a near masterpiece album and then drop it down a couple tiers in quality. Why bother unless you're going to make it a lot better? And even then, why not just make some new great music? That's my thoughts on The Curse 2025 by Atreyu. And next up is another metalcore one. It's kind of been a day of metalcore on August 1st for me. Usually I talk about prog metal, but there's been a lot of metalcore so far in August. Fit for a King put out Lonely God, which is the 8th album by this American band that's melodic metalcore with deathcore influences. I thought the last Fit for a King album, The Hell We Create, was very good as well, so I was looking forward to hearing if they could outdo that with this one. And it's very much on par with their last album, so if you like the last one, you'll like this too. Nothing too surprising here from Fit for a King, just very well done, solid metalcore for fans of Devil Wears Prada and Northlane, so I'm putting it in my very good tier. Two more albums to talk about in this video today. Second last one here is Crown Lands with their EP Ritual 2. I guess it's an EP, it's a part 2 of some instrumental ambient stuff that this band has done. They're an amazing Canadian band. This isn't their typical sound, though. Here they're doing instrumental ambient with world music and progressive rock influences. Their typical sound is more of a progressive rock meets hard rock, kind of sounding like Rush meets Led Zeppelin, maybe with a touch of Tool influence and stuff like that. But this one is a 31-minute instrumental EP. It's a sequel to Ritual 1, which came out earlier this year. And just, it's missing a bit of what makes Crown Lands great. I'm still going to put it in my good tier, but I think this band has the potential to be like excellent tier caliber. What's great about them usually is their rocking sound and their vocals, and this EP lacks that. It's like Ritual 1, it's a soft instrumental ambient album. It lacks rock, it lacks vocals. It's very tribal, very hypnotic, cinematic music, but it's hardly rock or prog at all. Sounds more like a native ceremony or ritual, kind of indigenous tribe people kind of music. It heavily focuses on nature sounds like birds chirping, percussion that's not your typical rock drums that sound like things that sound like bongos and marimbas and stuff like that. There's the odd guitar, some flutes or something like that. It's good and it's nice while it's on, but it's more like background music, and I prefer they make some more rockin' music with vocals. But as they work on their proper third studio album, they decided to first release these instrumental albums titled Ritual 1 and Ritual 2. I do enjoy Ritual 2 a bit more than Ritual 1, but I'm more keen on hearing their real third studio album. So just putting this in my good tier. That's Crown Lands with Ritual 2. And then the last one I want to talk about in today's video is Kayo and their album Every Rock, Every Half-Truth Under Reason, the 11th album by this American band. And genre is a bit hard to describe here, but I'm going to call it experimental post-rock. It's got drone, dark ambient, black metal, gothic metal, doom metal, art rock, and post-metal all in there. This is a hard one to rate. I'm going to put it in my average tier, but this is anything but average in terms of what it sounds like. It's just there's a lot of like mixed quality here for me. I've never listened to any album by Kayo, but I checked out a couple of tracks ahead of time on Bandcamp. I thought they were very unique and interesting. The album is 65 minutes long, but it's only 5 tracks, so these are lengthy tracks. The opening track, Mental Shed, is very weird and creepy, with intense black metal vocals and essentially no rhythm to the song at all. There's no percussion providing any beat. Maybe there's some percussion adding like to the soundscapes, but it's hard to tell if there's any like guitar or keyboards or anything. I don't know what's making all these sounds. If it's all like electronic, dark ambient noise, there's lots of like high pitched noises, like a horror movie. The first track will immediately scare away any normal people from listening to this album. And to be honest, it was a bit much for me, even though I can appreciate avant-garde, experimental, creepy, dissonant stuff. This was a tad too far for my taste. If you like it, all the power to you. I do think it's interesting, but just not super appealing to me. The second track, Oracle by Severed Head, has a similar sound, but at least the drums give it some tempo and time signature here, so you feel some rhythm, and at least the vocals are cleaner on this one, so there is a melody. The music sounds very much like post-rock on this one. Sounds like there's violins or something there. Track 3 is weird as well. It has those black metal vocals again. Too weird for me. Track 4 is a 23-minute epic, but too droney for my taste. But definitely check this out if you're a fan of Sleepy Time, Gorilla Museum, and Swans, because it's weird like those bands, but probably even weirder, harder to listen to, more ambient and droney and noisy and experimental than those bands. And it has some even more brutal black metal elements than those bands. The annoying high-pitched noises in the music are what made it hard for me to listen to, and I found it really hard to rate albums like this. So I put it in my average tier, even though average is not a good word to describe this. It's very interesting and it's good in terms of experimentation and uniqueness and being avant-garde. If that's what it's trying to do, it definitely succeeds. But it's below average to bad for me when it comes to being enjoyable to listen to. So I kind of meet in the middle and call it average, even though I respect their creativity and musicianship more than I would a typical average album. But if you like that kind of stuff, don't let my distaste for it discourage you from checking it out. If you like this kind of experimental post-rock, droney, dark ambient, avant-garde thingy, check out Kayo and Every Rock, Every Half-Truth Under Reason. And that's it for my first impressions on these 7 albums that came out on August 1st, 2025. What did you think of these albums? Let me know down in the comments. And did anything else come out recently that you think I might enjoy? Also, let me know. In about a week's time, I'll be talking about giving my first impressions on some other new stuff that's coming out. On August 8th, we've got Lucid Planet, ACT, Crypt Sermon, Black Braid, Attack Attack, and Baby Metal. So I'll be giving my quick first impressions on those. And if you like metal, rock, and prog music, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay in the loop on what I'm listening to and what I think about it. And stay tuned for next time. Peace out.